Every time you sit down to eat, your dog appears. Silent, patient, watching your fork with those eyes that make you feel like the worst person alive. And you've always thought they just want your food. They don't. The real reason is something you've never once considered. And by the end of this video, number 1 will completely change the way you feel about every single meal you share with them. This isn't about hunger. It isn't about being spoiled. It's about 7 very specific things happening inside your dog's mind right now that most owners will never figure out. Let's start with number 7. Yes, they want a piece, but not why you think. Let's get the obvious one out of the way first, because yes, it's real, but it's only the surface. Your dog wants some of what you're eating. Dogs are scavengers by evolution. For thousands of years, their ancestors survived by waiting near humans who cooked meat over open fires and picking up whatever scraps fell to the ground. That instinct didn't disappear. It just moved from the ancient campfire to your kitchen table. Asterisk. But here's what most owners get completely wrong. Asterisk, your dog isn't being greedy. They're running a program that's tens of thousands of years old. Asterisk. And here's the one detail almost nobody ever notices. Watch their body, not their eyes. A dog begging from pure hunger moves around, shifts weight, licks lips, paws at you. A dog running the ancient scavenger program sits perfectly still. Eyes locked, totally calm, almost peaceful. If your dog sits still while you eat, they're not hungry. They're in scavenger mode. Patient, waiting, ritualistic. That's a completely different thing from hunger. And this is where it gets truly interesting, because the next reason has nothing to do with food at all. 6. Mealtime is the one moment of the day they can count on. Think about your dog's entire day for a moment. You leave the house. You come back. You move from room to room. You disappear behind closed doors. You work, sit on the couch, get up, come back. From your dog's point of view, you are completely unpredictable. Except at mealtime. Mealtime is the one appointment in the entire day your dog can count on. Every evening, around the same time, in the same place, you will be stationary for 20 or 30 minutes. You won't leave. You won't disappear. You'll be right there. For a creature whose entire emotional world revolves around where you are and when you're coming back, mealtime is sacred. It's the most reliable, predictable, comforting moment of their whole day. That's why so many dogs appear the instant you sit down, before you've even picked up a fork. They're not reacting to the food. They're reacting to the ritual. They've learned that your sitting equals your presence. And your presence is what they live for. Watch your dog the next time you start cooking. Do they follow you into the kitchen? Do they settle nearby and wait? That's not begging. That's anticipation, not of food, but of you. Of the one moment in the day when you'll be completely still, completely reachable, completely theirs. 5. It's not the food they're watching. It's your face. Here's something most owners have genuinely never thought about. When you eat, your entire face changes. You relax. Your shoulders drop. The expressions you wear during work, during stress, during the 50 small frustrations of every single day, they soften. You become, for just a few minutes, the calmest, most unguarded version of yourself. Your dog sees this. Every time. Dogs read human faces better than almost any other animal on Earth. Studies show they can distinguish between dozens of human micro-expressions. They know your angry face, your worried face, your tired face, and your happy, relaxed face. They've been quietly cataloging every single one since the day they came home. The face you wear at dinner is one of their absolute favorites. It's relaxed. It's content. It's you, without the armor you wear for the rest of the world. When they stare at your fork, part of what they're actually watching is you. Your jaw moving. Your eyes softening as you taste something good. The tiny smile at the corner of your mouth when you enjoy a bite. For your dog, that's one of the most beautiful versions of you that they only get to witness at certain quiet moments of the day. The meal is the container, but the real reward for them is getting to witness you at rest. For an ancient part of their brain is taking inventory. In a wolf pack, food is not individual. Food is collective. When the dominant member eats, every other member watches, not because they're hungry, but because they need to know. Is there food? Is the leader okay? Is the pack safe? Is everything still as it should be? Your dog inherited this wiring completely intact. When you eat, a deep ancient part of their brain is quietly running through a checklist. Is the leader eating? Is there enough? Is everyone safe? Is the pack still whole? That watchful, steady stare isn't judgment. It's a threat check. Once they've confirmed that the world is still working the way it should, leader is fed, food exists, pack is intact, something deep inside them settles. This is exactly why so many dogs watch you intensely for the first 5 minutes of your meal, and then quietly lie down nearby and go still. They've completed the check. Everything is as it should be. Your dog isn't being rude or demanding. They're running a survival protocol that kept their ancestors alive for 40,000 years. 3. They've calculated exactly when you'll break. This one is going to make you smile and maybe feel slightly outsmarted. Your dog is a dedicated student of your psychology. Over months and years of watching you eat, they have been quietly collecting data on one very specific question. At what point do you cave? And here's the thing they know. They know which meals make you generous. They know breakfast is harder than dinner. They know when you're watching TV your defenses are lower. They know Sundays are better than Tuesdays. They know the exact expression to make at the exact moment to maximize their chances. This isn't manipulation. This is intelligence. Your dog has run thousands of tiny experiments on you. Variations in how close they sit, how long they hold eye contact, whether they whimper or stay perfectly silent, and they have optimized the approach that works specifically on you. That patient, soulful stare your dog gives you while you eat, it's the product of years of careful behavioral research. They've already calculated there's a 42% chance you'll change your mind by bite number 6. And somewhere deep inside you kind of love that they figured you out. 2. They're performing the oldest ritual of their species. In a wolf pack, eating together is not just about food. It's about identity. It's about belonging. The act of sharing a meal, watching the pack eat, being present while food is consumed is how a wolf confirms they are part of the group. Dogs have carried this forward completely unchanged. When your dog stations themselves at your feet during dinner, they are performing the oldest ritual in their entire species. I am here. I am part of this. I belong. Notice what happens when you eat alone versus when you eat with family. If your dog has a strong bond with one specific person, they sit at that person's feet, not whoever has the most food. Because food is not the point. The togetherness is the point. This is also why some dogs get genuinely upset when you eat without them in the room. If you've ever taken a plate, shut yourself in another room, and heard your dog scratch at the door, they're not being demanding. They're being excluded from the ritual that tells them they still belong. Asterisk asterisk. For your dog, every mealtime is pack time. Every single day. It's the quiet ceremony that confirms the family is still whole. 1. They're asking you if you still love them. Here's the truth most owners will never consider, but that every dog behaviorist quietly knows. In your dog's entire emotional world, food equals love. The very first relationship your dog ever had was with their mother, and it was built entirely around food. She fed them. She warmed them. She was survival itself. In a dog's brain, being fed by someone you love and being loved by someone who feeds you are not two separate things. They are the same thing. When your dog came into your home, you inherited that role completely. You became the one who feeds. And every single bowl of kibble you've ever placed in front of them has registered as far more than nutrition. It has registered as confirmation asterisk. You are the one. You still want me here. I am still yours. Now think about what your dog is actually doing when they watch you eat. They're not asking for food. They're watching the most important person in their entire world consume what sustains them, and they are quietly, patiently asking the same question they ask you every single day, in 1,000 different small ways. With the head resting on your knee. With the follow into the bathroom. With the long quiet stare across the room. Am I still part of this? Do you still want me here? Do you still love me? When you turn your head, meet their eyes, and hand them that tiny scrap from your plate, you're not spoiling them. You're answering the question. You're saying, asterisk yes. You're still mine. I still love you. We still share. Asterisk. That's why that one small gesture means everything to them. Not because of the flavor, but because in the only language they have, you just told them the thing they most needed to hear. And that's why when you don't share, when you're busy or distracted or just not in the mood, you sometimes catch them lying down with a long, soft sigh, not quite as settled as before. Not because they missed a bite, because today the answer felt a little less certain. So the next time your dog appears at your feet the moment you sit down and watches your fork with those patient, quiet, searching eyes, know what you're actually seeing. You're not being begged at. You're being asked, in the gentlest, most honest way your dog will ever know, whether the bond between you is still unbroken, whether they are still safe inside your love, whether the pack is still whole. And every time you glance back at them, every time you smile, every time you reach down and slip them that tiny piece of whatever you're eating, you're giving them the only answer that matters. Asterisk yes. Still yes. Always yes. Asterisk. If this changed the way you think about meal times with your dog, consider subscribing to PawMind Secret. We make videos like this for the people who want to truly understand the quiet, wordless conversations happening between them and their dogs. Because those conversations are almost always deeper than we realize. And before you go, if your dog greets you at the door every single time you come home, there's something very specific they're saying with that greeting. And it's not what most owners think. That video is next. Asterisk, take care of them. Every look is a question, and every kindness is an answer.